Good evening and welcome to the 2021 Writers Association of Northern Appalachia's annual conference. I'm your conference chair and one of your hosts for tonight's open mic. And here is your other host.
Hi, everybody. It's Christina Fisanick, broadcasting live from Wheeling, West Virginia. And I think I'm probably one of maybe two people who's actually in Wheeling, West Virginia, when all of us should have been here together. At least we have the technology, though, that allows us to carry on in these times, right?
We do.
So before we get started, we've got a couple of things that we need to take care of. First, we need to thank our sponsors. And I just want to bring their names up on the screen here. And I'm going to pull myself down so everybody can see this just for a second.
Those are some amazing sponsors, Christina.
Yes, we are really grateful for everyone who has been participating and continues to participate in this event this year. And we will hear, we will hear more about those sponsors tomorrow night at our awards and recognition ceremony. So
we will. I see some fine educational institutions on there.
Absolutely, and some local and afar businesses. So we're very, very happy to have so many people believe in our mission and what we do. So
let's tell the people what we're doing here tonight.
So there's a new journal that's making its way out into the world to celebrate and, of course, publish Appalachian literature, specifically Northern Appalachian literature. And Damian, you are the editor, the managing editor of that publication. You want to tell everybody just a little bit about that?
I am. Thank you, Christina. We are the new journal is called Appalachian Lit. I'm actually the editor and editor-in-chief. That's what got hung on me. And I am super excited about the people with whom I am working on this journal, who have graciously agreed to give of their time and be the judges for tonight's open mic contest. So I want to tell you about some of these judges, and Christina, maybe you can help me out a little bit with this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have got poet extraordinaire, the poetry editor of Appalachian Lit, Mike Dittman. He's the author of Small Brutal Incidents and a Jack Kerouac biography, and an outstanding English teacher.
Well, let's bring Mike on.
All right.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you so much for having me.
I wish we were getting ready to have a beer in Wheeling, but here we are, remote. And thank you so much for being one of our judges tonight and for working on the journal.
I'm super excited both to hear the writers tonight, and I'm so happy to be part of the journal.
Awesome. So one of our other judges, and we'll just leave you on the screen and bring everybody on, is Laura Jackson Roberts. She does live here in Wheeling. She's just down the street from me. She is an amazing human being, but also a really, really funny humor writer. And I love her work and have from the moment that I was forced to read it by everybody who kept saying, there's a writer you should read. And it was Laura Roberts. So let me bring her on. Hey, everybody. Great weather here in Wheeling, isn't it?
It's fantastic. I wish you were here. Wait, you are.
That's right.
The rest of you were, though.
Yes, I know. We have one more judge, right, Damian?
We do. We also have Margo Orlando Littell, the author of The Distance from 4 Points, a terrific novel. Margo, can we bring Margo on?
Yes, let's find Margo. She's in this crowd of amazing people. Hi, Margo.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yes, and I will say that not only are all of these judges awesome writers and fantastic judges, I'm sure, but they have all been guests on WANA Live, which everybody should watch Thursday nights at 8 p.m. So I had to put.
We've got some wonderful writers coming up.
Absolutely, we really do. So thank you all for judging, and I know you'll be watching out there in cyberspace, and then letting us know who captures the prizes for this evening. Thank you. We'll catch up with you.
Thanks so much. Christina, you were mentioning the prizes for this evening.
Yeah.
Maybe we could hear a little bit more about that prizes for this evening.
All right. So we have the main event, the prize giver, the grand prize giver. Cindy, would you like to tell us about Moraine's Edge Books and the prize that you have created specifically for our contest?
Cindy, you're muted.
You're muted.
Not anymore.
You got it.
Okay. I am really happy to be here. And Damian, I'm also in Slippery Rock right now. That's
Oh
where
my
I'm-
goodness. So we have two people in Wheeling, two in Slippery Rock.
Awesome.
Glad we're balancing things out.
Yeah. Moraine's Edge Books is my business that I created when I wrote my first novel in 2015, and kind of by that backdoor way made a transition from teaching into editing. And so I've been very happily editing the last few years and working my way out of teaching, which I have done for like 40 years altogether. And I do a lot of developmental editing, especially, and that's what the prize is geared to. It is a manuscript assessment, which is kind of a hybrid between an editorial assessment and a developmental edit. And the grand prize is a manuscript assessment of up to 5,000 words of prose or an equivalent time amount of poetry. And I will work with whoever the grand prize winner is to just give my services of whatever sort are most appropriate to that person's needs. But I have been editing mostly fiction for the last few years. I work particularly through Readsy, which offers independent authors a lot of author services. And I have been privileged to work with over 50, probably 60 authors over the last 3 years with them. And I do most of my work through Readsy, but I also work privately as well. And I'll be doing a talk tomorrow about how to make the most out of professional editing, because I, as an author myself, I know that the pennies are few and far between for paying for professional services. So I'm very keenly aware of the needs of writers to make the most of editing services. And traditionally, published people need editors too. Sometimes before they ever even, start querying with agents and so forth. And that's part of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to meeting the grand prize winner.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Excited. Yes, I am so ecstatic about this. When we came up with this idea, I knew that it would not only be a great prize to give, but something that could really help a writer at any stage in their writing process, whether they've been writing for forever or they're just getting started. I think this is a wonderful thing. Thank you so much.
Exactly. If you want to stop torturing all your friends by calling them one after another, constantly sending them draft after draft, and wait, that's me. Never mind.
He's
yeah.
not saying.
This is the way to maintain your friendships. Professional editing.
That's right.
Thanks so much, Cindy.
All right, everybody. It's time.
All right.
The rules of the game, you come on, make sure that in your name signature that you have your genre so that we can let the judges know what it is that you're doing whenever you're reading for us. And if you didn't add your genre, all you have to do is now's the time. And all you have to do is click on the 3 dots next to the microphone on your little window and click on edit name. And then you can change it and say whatever you want. Like, I'm changing my name right now to Christina Fisanick, Chicken Queen.
There's a prize for that, Christina.
Yes, I can fix it. But you all get the idea that you need to make sure you have your genre there, because our judges will need to know what you're doing. You have 2 minutes to read your work. 2 minutes is not a long time, and it is a long time. So we are going to pop off the screen, and After a little while, we will come in and kind of break this up a little bit with a little bit of our sponsorship information. But right now, you are all a go.
I had no idea we'd be dealing with poultry royalty tonight, folks. All right, so let's see who we got. Who we're going to kick things off with. I'm thinking Mary Lucille, because she has been waiting quite a while.
All
so
right.
let's reward that. All right, so let's bring a Mary Lucille on, and we're going to disappear.
Hello, I'm Mary Lucille DeBerry, and I'm going to read a persona poem. And I will warn you that the voice in this poem, a version of this voice, may be lurking in your own backyard. A porcelain vine cracks under pressure. You thought me beautiful, bearing pearlized grapes of pink, lilac, purple, blue, curving down in dainty clusters. With a grip like glue, my tough tendrils between glossy leaves dig into tree heart limbs. No one would guess my motives, my sharp intent to choke out life, to smother, kill without mercy. Before you noticed, I had formed a leafy canopy over your lilacs, your oldest pawpaw tree, your great-great-grandmother's deutzia, even your tall native holly. I have transformed your mother's pussy willow to dried brown leaf scraps, fallen trunk. On most wanted posters of invasive plants, authorities proclaim me murderous. You will find, blade in hand, how ultra hard I am to bring to justice.
All right. Thank you, Mary Lucille DeBerry. I love that. Wanted posters of invasive plants. That is quite the image. The hiking in Moraine State Park, and I'll expect to see wanted posters of invasive plants. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Let's bring out our next person. We have Jerri. I'm going to disappear.
Hello. Hi. I'm reading an excerpt from my novel. It's set in Appalachia, where I grew up in northern Appalachia on the Pennsylvania border, Pennsylvania-New York border. The day about this one space that was every part of Jerri's poor, green, water-blessed land grew quiet. Winter snowstorm quiet, like when you are alone, even with others near, and the snowflakes falling are so enormous from a sky that is so gray and hangs so low that really nothing can be heard but your breathing or the rustle of flakes as they land on the wool of your coat. It became that snicking, locking quiet, the quiet of scraped ground night that looks in at the only waitress in the world, in the one neon diner ever lit, as she droops her head upon a strong neck and realizes she is tired of pouring coffee in 2 small cups, and that's all there are. She looks, and the view out upon the whole clashing night is of the nearly vacant gray and black street. The frames of lamp posts make lines of defining structure which dissipate and fade by her shift's end when she walks out, placing her aching morning feet, one after the other, along the path that takes her home to her shabby shades of silence. That's how quiet Jerri's land became for him. You or anyone might have been the woman or man who drove up to that diner in the dead and nothing of the night and seen the waitress inside as she raised her head from the small cups into which she was pouring. And you might have felt such a reluctance that it was a place stood so alone, so singular in the universe, you could not go in. And you might have gripped your steering wheel, your black leather gloves keeping your hands warmth from the cold near the windshield at the top of the wheel you held too tightly. and maybe you dipped your head like an obedience to something in the understanding of this scene, and with a sense of failing, you shook your head and turned the key and backed out to go along your way to somewhere else, an act of hope in your submission to this nowhere that could be counted or measured in time.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerri. I love the sky so low, so gray, a sky we see every winter in northern part of
Northern Appalachia.
Thanks so much. Oh, and if you've already read, if you could de-join the meeting, that way the folks who are trying to get in can get in, because there's only room for 10 people to actually be all online at one time.
Okay, thank you.
Make sense? Okay, thanks so much. All right, we've got Tiffany Santos reading, I'm not sure. Oh, a poet. Okay, I thought she was reading Maryland.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tiffany A. Santos, and I'm calling from Frederick, Maryland. And I'm a poet, and I'm going to read my poem entitled "The Soft Dust of Memory Settles on My Tongue." The road is narrow and cramped with trailers, only 2 arms lengths apart. All along the front of the one white and brown trailer, weeds break through the small rubble of neglect to my waist. There in the tangle of green, white, and pink peonies are crawling with large black ants. A few half-bricks attempt to border the flower bed. The gray macadam under my feet smells hot, sending up wavy lines of steam just at the end of my vision. Its uneven brokenness is littered with pebbles the size of marbles, lost from pockets in jeans now too small for even one of my legs. The tar-covered pebbles stick to the bottoms of my bare feet as I stand alone in front of the now quiet mobile home. To this kingdom of the damned I was banished, excised from the family by patriarchal decree, more times than I can remember. Every stray sass, back talk, broken toy, every "no, please, I don't want to," earned this last resort. I whispered paternosters under my breath. My Father, who is inside me, hallowed be thy name. Come, thy will be done in the dark places. Give me forgiveness again. I will not trespass. I will not lead you into temptation, but deliver you from evil, for you are the King, the power, the glory. Amen.
You're muted, Damian. I came back from the dead and see that you're muted.
Well, thank you for. I keep muting and unmuting. I was just going to say, I'm so excited that Bottom Dog Press is one of our sponsors. So big thanks to Larry Smith. Many, many years of bringing terrific Appalachian and working class writing to the reading public. So right on for Bottom Dog Press. Let's see who we've got coming up next. Christina, you want to announce our next reader?
Actually, I think Patricia is next.
Okay.
Patricia Rotella, you want to come on? I'm going to escape. Oops.
Hello, and I'm Patricia Rotella, and I'm going to be reading an excerpt from Ending and Beginning, an essay I wrote about my dear mother. Ending and Beginning. My husband says, and now the hard part starts. We look at each other. Our eyes communicate an understanding of the enormity of this moment. I reply, the phone has stopped its constant ringing. We look at each other, wordlessly communicating our understanding. We feel the depth of our silence, our sorrow. I on the couch, he on the chair across from me. We sit, each deep in our own thoughts. Scenes of the last week flash before my eyes, its rapid pace now broken. Our hearts broken, remembering. That last hospital stay, the long days and nights, the endless monitoring, observing, praying, hoping, conferring with each other. What is the next right thing to do? God, guide us on the right path. Somehow an instruction is communicated. Our faith steps forth. We begin anew. Always praying that the end is not near, that life will somehow go on, that we will once again assume our positions, determine our course, and begin again. Plans made to return home and continue the loving care once again. Establish a new routine, always prayers for guidance. Alas, it was not to be, or maybe it was. We will never know. All was well until that fateful dose of medication was given. A grave error. It can't be undone. I cry for help. Numerous times, 6 times in fact, out to the nurse's station, imploring the nurse to help undo the wrong she committed. Why does she remain unmoved, apathetic, uncaring? Her face expressionless, no emotion, a blank mask. I demand she fulfill her duty. Finally, she comes to the room where my dear mother lay ashen in the bed. I fear it is too late. Monitors don't lie.
Thank you, Patricia. Very poetic piece of nonfiction there.
Thank you.
Powerful stuff. Okay. So, another sponsor that is absolutely want to give big thanks to is the Vagabond Kitchen in Wheeling. And if Christina, are you able to join me for a second? I've heard a rumor they're making a beverage. Can we tease this a little bit?
Oh, yeah. So tomorrow night, if you join us for our cocktail happy hour at 5:30, I will be broadcasting live from the Vagabond Kitchen, which is in downtown Wheeling. And the chef, the Vagabond chef, M.T. Welch, has made us a special drink called the Mountaineer Mule. The recipe is in the program, so you can make your own, but I'm going to have the Vagabond chef make mine for me. So I'll be sitting at the bar broadcasting live from there, and I'm really excited. And we are doing our cocktail hour, and the reason why we had the special drink made is because we want to honor the great Martins Ferry, Ohio poet, James Wright, who, here's a little piece of trivia that I didn't include in the program. He and his son won the Pulitzer Prize. Both of them did. And they are the only father-son duo to ever win in the same category. And Scott Hanna, if you're listening, and I think you might be, you'll be proud of me for knowing that, because Scott is a major scholar of James Wright's work. So anyways, who do we have next?
All right, let's bring on Gina Moriarty. She's going to be reading some nonfiction.
Hi, Gina.
Hi, so this is from an essay that I've been working on. The Harley was loaded and running in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn by 9 a.m. It was chilly in Chillicothe. I was wearing half of the clothing I had packed, and our rain suits were in the saddlebags for easy access. Our destination was Serpent Mound. We set the GPS to avoid highways and tolls, and he piloted us through the back roads of the Appalachian Mountains. Up and down the bike wound through Ohio, through the foothills and the fallen rust-colored leaves. I considered the purpose of these mounds. The question why echoed in my head. What was their purpose? I found a book from 1905 that proposes these mounds were erected either at the village site of the family or possibly the burial place, a sort of representative monument. Perhaps, I thought, I am a descendant of some ancient snake-worshipping clan. Maybe the serpent was calling to me. Through the headset, Jared's voice interrupted my thoughts. 52 degrees, we're at the bottom, but we're going up. The incline brought hot pockets of air before we plateaued. 60, 62, 66, he counted. 68, 16 degrees difference between the bottom and the top. I inhaled, sucking the warm air into my lungs. I held my breath and remembered a conversation I had with a friend. We had discussed how humans are like mini planets that exist on one great one. I exhaled against the wind. My friend had explained chi as individual energy, as a circulating life force flowing through our chakras like a grid system in our bodies, like ley lines on the earth. During the initial research that led me to Serpent Mound, I stumbled across the term ley lines, also called dragon lines, holy lines, or magic lines. They're believed to be supernatural underground currents of energy that connect the major ancient landmarks of the world. Serpent Mound lies atop a confluence of ley lines. Could ley lines affect the globe like chi affects our bodies? My friend said personal chi operates like a jet engine or a squid, the way we suck in energy and expel it to project ourselves onwards. I wondered how the engine of a motorcycle compares. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Chili and Chillicothe. I never imagined that particular piece of alliteration would come my way. Thanks for sharing that. Fun stuff. All right. And let's see. How about we're going to bring on a poet, Lydia Seaton.
Hi.
Hi, Lydia.
I wrote this last year. I was in a creative writing class, so I wrote it last semester. So it's called Cinq à Sept. Back then, you would speak to me in broken French as we drank cheap boxed wine in that tiny apartment, suffocating in our youth, feeling the life coursing through us, the lust. We would lie about who we were and about what we would become, and the facade covered us. We would hide and shut our eyes to the world with a blindfold. You would cover my eyes with that blindfold and kiss me like the French. We would melt together on our daybed, and our facade was impenetrable. Your cheeks would flush from the wine. The desire was so strong then, the lust for you and the hunger for youth. C'est gaspillé pour nous notre jeunesse, you would say, tightening the blindfold, shielding our eyes from outside sunlight. We would lust for each other's body, and the French words gurgled in your throat as the wine slipped down your chin. But soon it was lifted, our facade. I loved our facade, the picture we put up of our youth and vitality, just laying around and drinking wine on that mattress with a blindfold over our eyes, kissing like the French and starving for each other's skin, the blanketing lust. But it all wore away. The lust became a quiet yearning, and the facade turned into a house in the suburbs. Now I've forgotten the French, and I've forgotten what the youth felt like. Now I don't wear a blindfold, and I don't drink cheap boxed wine. Now my wife likes expensive wine from Italy, and we don't lust for each other. There is no blindfold, only a new facade of marital happiness, distinguished youth, and no more speaking French. I miss the blindfold and the cheap boxed wine. I miss laying together, melting as you mumbled broken French in the smothering, enticing lust. I still think of our little facade and the beauty of our bold, naive youth.
Thank you, Lydia. Makes me nervous when people obviously significantly younger than me are worried about aging. Yikes. What a terrifying poem.
I thought it was an absolutely beautiful poem. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. So next up, oh my goodness, critters are coming out.
Wow, sorry, Bonnie. I think we All right.
Hi, Randa. How are you?
I'm fine.
Ready to read some poetry?
Yes, I'm going to read one of a series of poems I'm writing about growing up in northern Alabama and reflecting on white supremacist culture.
All right.
Okay.
Night Ride with a Beauty Queen, 1961, Natchez Trace, Alabama. I asked her, "Did you mean to kill that man?" Her daddy coughs in the next room. We know he's listening. She pecks at her face with pointed tweezers. "Make a frame for your eyes," she says. Tells me how to shape my brows. Make an arc. All lost in her teen beauty bargain sale lighted mirror. Two run wild girls, wheels spinning on a dark road, a scenic route laid over an old trail of tears and chains. Hair whips our faces. We fly in sweet air, thick Alabama heat. She puts my hand on the long four in the floor. I shift while she works the clutch and steers, the unwired farm truck. Don't need running lights on a flat, straight road. She swerves onto the berm. I glimpse a shadow. A night-walking black man leaps aside into cattail rushes and prickly bog sedge. No thud on the fender. We head back to her deep clan daddy's land, his big brick house. This damn road is haunted, she says, her daddy's way of speaking. They'll just soon kill you as look at you. Such casual malice, all her own reflection. I am 13 to her 15, and she is beautiful. I lather my hands in her fragrant soft soap. Her hands move up her neck, up her cheeks. So you won't get no wrinkles when you're old, she says. She tells me how to wash my face. Stroke up, only up. We stand side by side before her mirror, mirror. Thank you.
Thank you. Very evocative, particular time and place. And I have not heard anybody talk about the Natchez Trace since I left Mississippi.
Yeah, they lived right on it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Randa. All right. So
I think we have a video to show folks about the city of Wheeling.
Yes, the city of Wheeling. So, to put on a conference like this, even if we are virtual, it requires a lot of support from community members, universities, businesses, and all, everybody. And so we'd like to show you a little video that was put together about my city, my town, the city of Wheeling. I love it here, and I think this 15 seconds will make you want to come. And I know you'd all be here if you could be, but here we go.
Visit Wheeling, West Virginia.
All right.
Nice. I almost showed it twice. But seriously, we're very grateful for the Wheeling Convention and Visitors Bureau for being our supporter for 3 years in a row. So we're very thankful for them.
And if you're asking why we don't have a video for Slippery Rock, they didn't give a shit.
That's blunt. So I think that our next writer up is Zuleikha. Did I say your name right?
It's Zuleikha, like a lake.
Zuleikha, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
So you're going to read some nonfiction for us?
Yes.
All right, we're going to hear.
Okay. The title is When the Person You Are Closest to is Very Ill. My husband, Richard, is in the hospital again. On one morning while he's away, I'm in the shower. Tilting my head under the water, I wet my hair and then reach for my shampoo. The bottle is too light for there to be much left. Turning it upside down, I bang it several times into my palm, yielding a sliver of pearly liquid. Catching part of the shower stream, I fill, shake, then dump the barely sudsy water over my head. I decide I'll just use Richard's dandruff shampoo. It's sitting right at eye level in the metal caddy hanging from the shower head. Squeezing a dollop into my cupped hand, I start rubbing it into my hair. This turns out to be a big mistake. His shampoo reeks. Hurriedly rinsing it off proves to be futile. I turn off the water and, trying to drip as little as possible, tiptoe the short distance to the cabinet beneath the sink. Grab a new bottle of my shampoo, then scamper back into the shower through my puddles. I rewash my hair. It's no good. It still stinks. Every time he goes to the hospital, I worry he's not going to make it home. If Richard dies, who am I going to give his shampoo to? I certainly can't use it. Giving it away might be kind of awkward, because I'll have to find someone who has dandruff. Then they'll know that I know that they have dandruff. Plus, would they be okay with using a dead man's shampoo? It seems complicated. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a challenge to deal with tragedy, and humor can be such an effective way to do so. I love that, using the dead man's shampoo.
Thank you.
By the way, speaking of sponsors that actually we really want to support, I always want to support the Watershed Bookstore in Brookville. They're doing great things up in Brookville. So big support, big shout out to the Watershed Bookstore. Thank you for being a sponsor.
I came on because I was concerned about this potential striptease that I was watching, and but yes, the Watershed books. We have to say something really special about them because they have believed in the work that we do from the very, very beginning of it all. They have been behind us through everything, and we love them so, so much. And I hope that they know how much we value them as our community members and supporters and all the good things. So thank you, Damian, for remembering the Watershed.
Yes, and I can't believe you thought I was going to do something inappropriate on camera. I'm shocked. Let's bring on Bonnie before this really goes south.
Oh, I think we have more than a year's worth of you doing shady things on camera, so I don't know. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, all. Did they make you a mule to do that, Damian?
Not yet. No. This is me with tea.
And not the Long Island kind. I know you're from Long Island, Bonnie.
Not anymore, though.
That's true. That's true. We'll let you read.
Okay, it's a poem. It's called How Many Pages of Photographs, and the title just blends right into the first line. How many pages of photographs do you have to flip through to get to the one you remember her by? That one, the picture with the roses, sitting off her feet for once in her endless day of endless housework. That one, her hair black as a raven, streaked with thin, magical streamers of silver, pointy black glasses with little dots of rhinestones that looked like they were meant for someone who went to the beauty parlor. And I did follow her there sometimes, waiting, trying not to stare at ladies whose blue curls were rolled and pinned in graceful swirls, whose pink smocks hung loosely over pearl necklaces, whose arms bore blue numbers that could never be washed clean. They smoked and rasped out "darling" when they needed settings adjusted on hair dryers. And there was Life magazine, photos of Jackie, baby Caroline, and JFK. And who knew that soon he too would be taken, the sorrow flowing like his death made 6 million plus one killed, even though he was not Jewish. But somehow his body too lay on those piles to be wept over. And then came Martin Luther King, and we all know where this is headed. Tamir Rice's mother knows where. George Floyd's brother knows. How does a blue-numbered lady forgive? How does the world recover from a river of tears that turns into an ocean? Forgiveness knocks like a beggar. We have so much grief to offer, but it will not find its way in. Once my grandmother held out her arm, and I marveled at each soft wrinkle and fold, each pink or brown mole. But now the river of tears holds all the ashes. Not another one gone, Breonna Taylor. Not again. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, that was so beautiful, Bonnie. Really.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Also, we have work in the new, the inaugural issue of Appalachian Lit. We have work coming from Bonnie Proudfoot. So if you liked what you heard, you can get a chance to read more of Bonnie's work in our first issue coming shortly.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Bonnie. And I think we have Michele up next. Hey, Michele. You're muted.
And I disappeared.
There we go. How's that?
Here again.
Good.
Okay, am I good?
Great. All right, what are you going to read for us?
Okay. This is the Emerald Island Elixir. It's about redemption through a magic bottle of beer set in Ireland.
I'm up.
All right. When I first set off for Anne's, I had no idea she'd become my salvation. No idea she'd grow to love me. All I knew was snow was nearing the top of the street curbs, and I had to get to her before the baby came. Each moment en route, my guilt mounted until it was deeper than the ledges of ice along the country miles inching by. Why, oh why, hadn't I stayed dead? I sat straight up in bed. The pounding on the front door was frantic. "Doc," a woman's voice echoed through the hall. I scrambled for my robe and stumbled out, my feet feeling like I'd never walked before. I swung open the door, wind ripping its handle from my grasp. Bright blue eyes glowed from the woman's pale face, snow blowing back the hood of her black fur-lined parka to expose tight gray curls. "Couldn't reach you on your cell," she said, clasping her gloved hand. "Of course, the electric just would have to go out when the birthing's about to begin. Our dear Anne's in labor." She stepped inside, hands fluttering like a butterfly's wings. I clutched my robe to my chest and bumped into the couch. "It's time, quick now," she said, strolling toward the closet. "I'll fetch your bag. You get on some clothes, warm ones, mind ya. Colder than a witch's tit out there." I stumbled toward the hallway, hands tracing the wall to the bedroom. The insistent woman on my heels. I opened the closet and snapped on the light. Nothing looked familiar. Not the house, not the woman, not the clothes in my closet. The short woman leaned her stocky frame against the wall. "Why are witches' tits so cold anyway?" She pinched her nipples through her blouse. "The cauldrons should keep them warm," she said, cackling like a strange fire. I flipped through the hanging garments, rose print dresses and ruffled skirts. I ran a hand over a blouse. Even my own hands seemed unfamiliar, and I was amazed I could move them. I stared at them like a baby first stares at his, just stared, amazed that my fingers were smooth and porcelain white, but most of all amazed that they were a woman's. The brawny, masculine hands with calluses I'd chopped wood with were gone. "Evelyn, you all right, my dear?" said the lady at the wheel, her nose crinkling like a burnt French fry. I nodded. I thought, nice name, Evelyn, now only if I knew hers.
Thank you so much, Michele. Hands fluttering like a butterfly's wings. It reminds me of one of our other sponsors, The Wheeling Feeling.
You know what? The Wheeling Feeling is a wonderful organization. They do about 1 billion things. They do PR stuff. They make T-shirts. They make mugs, and they really, really love the city of Wheeling. They are a company that was founded by a Mount DeShanto graduate. The Mount DeShanto was an academy here in Wheeling that lasted for 160 years. And Michele, you will be giving a presentation tomorrow at the conference. What will you be talking about?
Yes, about clearing your chakras. I heard one of the ladies that was speaking and reading a minute ago, and she mentioned chakras. So it's good to, that term's out there a little bit more than it used to be. And we're going to clear that creative chakra. I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to do it with you. And it's an interesting life.
What time is your presentation tomorrow? Do you remember?
It's at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. All right. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Very cool. All right. Who we have left? I see Darina from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Welcome.
Hey, Darina. I'm glad you got here.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right. I have one poem, so I'm going to just go ahead and get started. The only color people. People, the only people are white people. The only people, the only white is the only color, the only people, the white, the only color, the only people you see. Blackness is out, it is mine, it is everything and nothing to you, it is all, it is everything to me, everything. Can't breathe. The whiteness and the darkness is surrounding me and her and him, and the names in black, the names in red, the white hands around the black, brown throats, the white knees in places, the black, brown, red blood. We are dying for Skittles, toy guns, cell phones, standing, walking, staying, doing nothing, lying face down, shot in the back, shot in the front, shot once, shot twice, 3 times, more to make sure She was erased. He was erased. They are erased every day. The black and brown bodies are piling up. What the fuck are you going to do, America? When will you woke ass white folks wake the fuck up? Stop erasing black names. Stop erasing black history, her story, her words, the black, the brown people. Joe and Donald, two old ass white men fighting a battle we can only lose. My skin, the same skin my daughter has is getting erased every day. I sneak her in the sun, no sunblock, and hope we both burn just a little, just so our yellow can get closer to brown. Stop erasing, stop erasing, erased. The words, the names, the faces, the people, it's too fucking much. Gets lost in the crowd, in the web, in the worlds. We have no defense. We are nothing. The black getting lost in all this white like an ocean, a wave, a great tsunami hitting the Fukushima of my soul, an explosion so deep we are still finding radiation years later. Aftershock imprints right here on American soil. The brown dust like bodies laid to waste by the blue of police coats and stomping black boots on black throats. So tell me, America, what the fuck are you going to do?
Thank you.
Oh, we lost Arena. She must have kicked herself out. But that was absolutely awesome.
Powerful work.
And I know we just have one more writer left, and it's Jessica Jones. Hey, Jessica. You are muted. No, you're not muted.
I'm muted.
You will
Thank
also be doing a presentation tomorrow for us at the conference. What are you going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, I have two presentations tomorrow. One of them, and I should have the topics in front of me. Let's see. The first one is a panel with another writer, and I'm still familiarizing myself with the program, but it's at 10 o'clock. It's me and another writer. I'll be reading from my manuscript of Appalachian poetry. And then I have another one at 1 o'clock, which is a workshop called Digging Down Deep, about kind of diving into the layers of the places that we come from and how we can complicate place.
Yes, we hope that everybody will join Jessica and our other presenters tomorrow. But right now, let's let you read.
Thank you. So I have kind of feet in two worlds and roots in two worlds. One world is rural Montana, where I work with Native children on an Indian reservation, and I have some ancestry in that turf. And then the other is where I grew up here in Northeast Ohio, Western Pennsylvania. So the first, I'm going to read two poems. They're both about a minute long. The first one is from my book, Bitterroot, which takes place in Montana. And it actually speaks to some of the things that Dorinda was just talking about. I've not been able to leave comments in the chat bar now that I've been in the StreamYard, so I wanted to comment for everybody, but couldn't from here. So this is called Marginalia. In 1995, Billings, Montana responded to a series of hate crimes by printing menorahs in the local paper for everyone to hang, sending paint crews to Native, Black, and Jewish homes ruined by swastikas, campaigning the message, not in our town. 20 years later, teachers make white cranes of KKK Bibles, transpose diagrams of slaves packed into the belly of a ship, whisper, give them names, give them all names. Is it possible to bring back passenger pigeons from extinction? Indigenous children don't have truth and reconciliation unless they read between the lines. America is singing in its rivers' names, the voices of disc jockeys who flip Navajo and English like coins on 960 AM, New Mexico. Ask, we urge from the chalkboard. Keep asking. Whose voice is missing? Who flutters on the margin of the page, the schoolyard, the city limits, waiting to interject? And then this piece comes east, back to my childhood roots. This is called Counting Clothespins. Counting clothespins in the cellar. Cement floor slanted to the drain in its center, the geometry of years from when Grandpa's plight was to remove steel-toed boots, drop factory uniform to basin by the shower beneath a single light on a string. Same string, new bulb now, as I reach up to clothesline near furnace, where so many things have hung and stiffened, then down into the bucket for wooden hasps that smell of rust and soap. They don't make them like they used to, we say of men and clothespins with strong hinges, sharp spring, like a poem waking you up at night, a contraction or a kick, something ready to be born, winter pipes choking themselves alive again, a cough, then that unmistakable whoosh of water and light. These pins, the handful left, they're a dying breed.
Well, thank you, Jessica.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. All right, so we saw some amazing, amazing writers in every genre tonight. I am glad that I'm not one of the judges because that's some stiff competition. But those of you who are watching, you can, and even if you are not attending the conference and you're not a WANA member, you can in fact find out who won for poetry, creative nonfiction, fiction, and the grand prize if you tune in tomorrow for our awards and recognition ceremony, which will be taking place at 6:30 p.m. I will put the link in the box. And I do want to say a couple more things about tomorrow's event. We get underway at 9:15. Everybody that is listening to the sound of my voice, if you are watching from our YouTube channel right now or from Facebook, you will be able to see our first keynote speaker, Richard Hegg, who is a poet from Ohio, who will be telling us something about Northern Appalachia. And I'm really excited about his take on it and his perspective. That's at 9:15. Then if you are a registered member, our presentations get underway at 10 a.m. and they go all the way up until the last one is over at 4 p.m. And then 5:30, we will have our happy hour at the Vagabond Kitchen where we can all drink together and be merry and talk about the day and not be under any kind of pressure to do anything but just kind of chill for a little bit. And then at 6:30 is our awards and recognition ceremony. Not only will we be giving the awards for tonight's open mic, but we will also be doing giving awards for the Watershed Journal scholarship winner. We will also be giving an award for the very first annual Mad Women in the Attic scholarship winner, and so much more. And then following that at 7 p.m., Sarah Elaine Smith, who is the author of the wonderful book Mary Lou is Everywhere, will be giving her keynote address. And that one is also free and open to the public. So, Damian, do you have anything to add before we complete our night's open mic?
I do, and I thank you for giving me an opportunity to say something because it's I think it's really important that we both as members of WANA and as members of the Northern Appalachian writing community acknowledge the extraordinary efforts that our president Christina Fisanick has taken to transform our in-person conference, because there was a lot of butt busting going on to get that done, to transform it in very short order into a virtual conference with 2 keynotes, contests, a broad array of really wonderful presenters. So I just wanted to sort of say thank you, Christina, on behalf of our organization for you have left no ass unkicked. So thank you so much. And I speak on behalf of our executive committee and advisory board that we are just so grateful and impressed with how you've comported yourself and led us through this this challenge.
Well, thank you so much, Damian, really. And I want to go on record to say I've not kicked anyone's ass. I'm a pacifist. Of course, I'm kidding. But
some metaphorical asses, Christina.
Yeah, metaphorical asses, I've kicked many, thank you. But I will say this, that I could not do any of this at all without my amazing advisory board. And you will hear a little more about them tomorrow night at the ceremony. So we hope that you have a wonderful day tomorrow, all day events, wonderful presentations. Thank you so much for our open mic readers tonight.
Right.
Thank you in advance tomorrow for our presenters at the conference. We could not do a thing, no matter how organized and wonderful I am, we could not do a single thing without our presenters. So thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and thank you for readers tonight.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow morning, bright
tomorrow morning. Bye.